friends, it's Travis, and let me just share a couple of thoughts that I've been mulling on quite a bit for this morning's refresh. Last week, actually, in our staff meeting, we listened to a sermon, and the speaker spoke on amazement and astonishment. And even before that, and leading up to when I heard that through a podcast that I listened to, it had been sticking out to me in Scripture, this whole idea of amazement, and the opposite of amazement meaning or being criticism or a critical heart, maybe even skepticism or some sort of critical nature. And I've seen more the critical side of me last week and even into a little bit of this week. And so the Lord's had me in a good spot in the Gospel of Mark, just kind of thinking through some of those things. Originally, I was in the 6th chapter of Mark, but as we listened to this sermon as a staff, the preacher was in Mark 1. So let me just draw a couple of parallels here and share kind of a bottom line. In Mark chapter 1, Jesus heals a man with an unclean spirit, and a couple of things happen in this unclean spirit episode. There is actors that are, or characters rather, that are astonished and amazed, and then there is a character that is more critical. And interestingly enough, the people of Capernaum, where this was happening, they were the ones, the Scripture says, that were amazed. But the critical one was the unclean spirit. Over in Mark 6, very interesting, Jesus returns to his hometown of Nazareth. And I don't know about you, but when you've been gone from your hometown for a while and you go back, if you've had that experience, or even if you have never left, but those that are around you are very familiar with you, not in your present age or season, but probably more or less in the seasons of your youth, and you know what follows in that. Jesus was rejected in his hometown. It says in Mark chapter 6 that he was unable to do any miracles outside of just a couple in his hometown because of the cynical hearts. People refused to believe that Jesus was anything more than, the Scripture says, a carpenter in chapter 6, verse 3, the son of Mary and the brother of Jesus and Joseph and Justus and Simon and all of his sisters. And, you know, they knew the family. How could this Jesus, Yeshua, be any different than us? And Jesus said to his disciples that a prophet is not without honor except in his hometown and among his own relatives and his own household. And I've been thinking about that quite a bit. And I mean, I really think what Jesus was saying was making the comparison of the block to astonishment and amazement of belief is a critical spirit, an over familiar spirit, just expecting and already believing and knowing what that next thing is going to happen, how that person is going to respond, how this day is going to unfold. You know what I'm talking about. It's very easy in our human experience to slip into that critical spirit. We do that even within the faith family and the body of Christ. And we come to worship, and we have a critical heart and a critical spirit. And that has to intentionally be laid down and surrendered and pulled back and exposed and repented of, to be able to enter into a worship of a God that is wild and unruly and is not contained by our thoughts and our limited imaginations, and he's God. And if we would but only get a glimpse of that by laying our cynicism down, we would be amazed and astonished. I really believe that if we could catch a glimpse as individuals and collectively as a church, get a glimpse of God's glory. And this isn't just church talk or religious say. I really mean it. If we could just get a glimpse, take off those glasses and lenses and veils and barriers of our critical spirits and get a glimpse of God's glory, we would be an amazed and astonished mess in the best sense of that word. We would be undone. We would become more generous. We would become more outward focused. We would become more willing to be aware inwardly of where we're at and surrender and dependence upon God. I think I got goosebumps on the back of my neck, but this is what I've been thinking. And I just really think that that God is wanting to give us those glimpses and those pieces. And I'm not just talking about on a Sunday morning as we sing a song or whatever. I'm talking about in the everyday mundane places of our life. We've all been experiencing power outages. The church is still out of power. I'm recording this on Tuesday afternoon. You're watching it sometime probably on Wednesday. I don't know if it'll be back on in the morning, but we've been out since Sunday. And many of you are out of power as well. How unspectacular our lives begin to look without electricity, but how valuable and precious sitting in a home with a candle as the sun goes down, being able to be almost forced to have communication and intimacy with a family member or a loved one because you don't have a TV blaring or something. Phones, I guess cell phones can still buzz and all that, but you know what I'm getting at. So that's a few thoughts. I'm right there with you. I'm chewing on it. Let me pray. Father, I just pray that our hearts would just be snagged by your glory, and that we would become astonished and amazed. For how could we be in your presence and not be amazed? So Lord, take these lenses off of our hearts and our eyes. Our hearts have become stone at times with our cynicism. I pray, Father, that we would soften to begin to see you for who you have always been and who you are right now and what you're doing in us, around us, through us, in our community and in our world, even in the difficulties that we experience. All for your glory, all to you, Jesus. Amen. Happy Wednesday, all.